Hello there, beautiful.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Suddenly you kissed my wife. Baby, my heart's on fire.
Today we are reviewing a figure from the Star Wars Hasbro collection, the Black Series. The figure is IG-88, one of the mercenary bounty hunter robots who had only a very brief appearance in The Empire Strikes Back. Seriously, it was only like 1 minute worth of footage and then he was gone. I'm sure that there are Star Wars fans out there who will send me angry emails telling me all the other places where he may have appeared, but whatever. The box is plain, very plain. They didn't even give him a bio. But ooh, they gave that Cody clone trooper guy a whole paragraph. Anyway, this is one of the 6-inch figures for those who want something that is, shall we say, a little more advanced than the 3.75-inch figures.
The figure has a cone head, which may or may not be in reference to its resemblance to the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz. I could while away the hours, killing all the flowers, ripping animals apart. So take shelter in your bunker. I'm a fearsome bounty hunter. I'll put a blaster through your heart. Sorry I get carried away like that sometimes, but I'm deaf. Anyway, this figure doesn't do much. Its articulation is limited, so all you can really do is stand it, hope that it doesn't fall over, and pretend that it's behaving exactly like its movie counterpart did. The head will rotate 360 degrees, although how you can tell whether his head is pointing in the right direction or not is anybody's guess.
For shoulder articulation, it will rotate 360 degrees, and it does have a ball socket joint, which will allow you to extend the arm out approximately this far. But again, the arms are soft, and if you try to bend them or force them in any way, it feels like the plastic will snap. You are advised to be extremely careful with this figure while handling. There is actually some elbow articulation. This soft rubber cuff conceals an elbow joint, but again, you are advised not to bend it too far. Anybody who has spent $20 on this figure is not going to want to risk damaging it. It has a joint which will allow you to bend the figure at the top like this, which looks a bit silly. But you can force it to look up and down that way. The head has no tilt on it. He does have some waist rotation, if you want to call it that, at the very tippy top. Although the rubber bandolier does limit the mobility there. You can push it out of the way, but that may cause the weapons to fall out. The hips perhaps suffer the most in terms of articulation, because all you can do is swivel the legs forwards and back, but you can't even do that very much because of this soft rubber tubing. If you extend it too far backwards, you risk snapping it, and you can see that even doing this stretches this tubing. And that includes if you try to rotate it at the knee too much. See, it's already straining that rubber tubing. It may be able to stretch, but having spent money on this figure, I don't want to risk it.
The feet will tilt and rotate at the ankle, but the leg articulation is so poor that he still can't stand up by himself. Allow me to demonstrate. Can he stand up?
Can this advanced alien bounty hunter stand on his own 2 feet? No! IG-88 has his movie-accurate laser rifle. You would think that these unarticulated claws would not be able to hold anything, but they were kind enough to place a tiny peg here and a corresponding hole at the bottom of the gun, so that way you can have him hold his weapons. But again, you must be very careful when placing it in. Otherwise, the soft rubber could be bent out of shape or damaged permanently. So you can have him hold his gun. He also has a bandolier, which has a holster on the back which holds his other accessories. A smaller laser gun, and an axe weapon. There is a small hole at the bottom of this gun as well, so he can hold his guns akimbo. So once your IG-88 is armed, you can have him look fairly fearsome, at least as fearsome as a robot can look when it seems to have been made out of tiny gray toothpicks. For size comparison, here is IG-88 next to the Movie 1 version of the Hulk. Here he is next to Transformers Prime Voyager Starscream. And here he is next to Doug McKenzie.
The positive aspects of the figure is that it looks good. It looks cool on your shelf, and it will make a fine addition to the bounty hunter team if you have the other figures. It is highly detailed, although the color scheme is limited. Frankly, I have more of a color variation than this figure does. Negative aspects of the figure include the use of soft plastic on nearly all the joints, which causes warping, like here on this feature. The figure feels top-heavy. It falls over easily unless you use a stand or putty to support it. What would have made this figure exceptional is the use of hard plastic, and the addition of ball socket joints at the hips. This would have increased the posability tremendously and made the figure not only look good, but also be extremely playable.
Like in Toy Story 2, if you handle this thing too much, it's not going to last. So find a pose that you do like, stick with it, and leave it that way.
In short, Black Series IG-88 is a good figure, which could have been spectacular, except for some design flaws. I give IG-88 6 out of 10 deaths. Now, if you will excuse me, I'm going to go watch Phantom Menace again so I can have a good laugh about that whole midichlorian thing.
If you refuse me, honey, you lose me. Then you'll be left alone, oh baby. Tell them all and tell me I'm your own.